YouTube? Nick Novak back for another video on the HSR. Today we're continuing our fencing project. We are tamping our hedge posts in. I'll show you guys what they look like. The thing about hedge posts is they're not straight. You know, you get a good creosote post and they are straight, so they're easier to make look straight in your fence line, but hedge gives a little bit of flavor to it. That's the way I like to say it. You know, so that's pretty straight. These first couple are the best ones, you know, closest to the road. And so that's why I did that. The not so straight ones are gonna be farther down in the pasture so no one can see them. One thing I did this morning was I built this H brace. This H brace is what's gonna pull the wire to this post. And this is what will keep the wire tight all the way down. So as you can see, we got the straight line, the 4 T-post, which I need to put the 1 T-post here to 1 hedge. So come with me, we'll tamp some posts. So my first step is I stand back behind a T-post and try to line it up straight. When you're by yourself, that's what you have to do. So I can see that this post needs twisted this way just a little bit to make it straight. So I come up here, get it straight, come back and look. Needs pulled back just a little bit. And we're good to go right there. So the first step I do is I always throw a little bit of dirt in. And I use my shovel to tamp around it to get it tight before I bring in the big post pounder. And sometimes with these big hedge posts, you can't get all the way around it with that big pounder, the hand pounder, so you have to use a shovel in the backside, which is fine as long as you get it tight. So what I just did there was I went back to make sure my line is completely straight, which it is. So now I'm going to tamp this dirt on the bottom with my big pounder. I don't know if you can see, but it's completely packed in there on the bottom, completely tight. The post is not going to be super tight yet. Still moves a little bit, but that's fine because we still have a lot more tamping to do. So we'll tamp the rest of this post and I'll show you guys. We'll do it again about 10 more times. So in this back corner, I'm using a shovel again to make sure I get it tight. Then I'll switch to the tamper. What I do now is I put a little bit, all the dirt around it. I like to step around it so it gets flat to the ground, and then I'll tamp it one more time all the way around. And once I get it done like that, I take my shovel, get all the extra dirt I can get, and I like to mound it up so when it rains, water falls off it, doesn't go back in the hole that I dug and start hollowing out the hole, if that makes sense, to make it all that dirt go away. So I just like to do this. One, it looks nicer, but two, there is a reasoning behind it. So now what I do is I cut the top off. These posts are between 8 and 9 feet. This is a 9-footer, so it's a little bit taller. And most of these hedge posts, there's one way it's gonna be straight. And this part up top needs to be cut off. And so the fence is all the same height. So I'm gonna do that now. I've got it measured on my body where it needs to be at, just right around in here. So we'll cut that real fast. Maybe. So as you can probably tell, it's hard for that bobcat to, bobcat, the chainsaw to cut it. It's because this hedge post is so tough. And so that's why I really like it. I like using creosote posts in my corners, simply because you want your H braces to be pretty dang straight up and down to help with that tension being pulled by that wire. But for my line posts, I don't really care if they're straight. As long as they look decently straight, I'm fine with that. Mainly because these posts are just so strong. So once we string the wires up, what we'll do is come in with the chainsaw and put a notch in the wood post where the wire is gonna be at. And once we notch it, then we push that wire inside the post and we wrap wire around the backside. If you put a nail or whatever, I'm gonna call it a nail, I'll think of it, right into the post, say the wire's right here, and you put one a nail right in through there like that, these hedge posts are gonna spit those nails out. And so that kind of sucks because every year you're going back and replacing them. So what I do is I notch it and wrap a wire around the outside of it. So as you can see, we got a straight line there. We'll go ahead to the next one. So as you can see in that time lapse, the full process all in one. By myself, takes a little bit more time. I'd say probably 4 to 5 minutes per post, which isn't bad. It beats paying someone $20 an hour to come help me. This used to be my full-time job. This is what I used to do for 2 years. I had my own fencing crew. We built probably close to 40 miles in those 2 years, just me and one other guy. Did everything by hand, and so I'm kind of used to doing it by hand. I'm young. It ain't gonna kill me to do it by hand. I don't love doing it by hand, but you know, everything's just so expensive that you almost have to. But as you can see, let's see right there, we're straight. It's leaning just a little bit, but that wire will be fine, and that's a pretty straight post. And so that's kind of the process to how we do it. I think in this line there's like 19 total. We've done 4 so far. I can only do about 5 to 6, and then I'm beat and I go do something else and come back out here and do it again. But this is just a short video. I just wanted to show you guys kind of how we tamp these hedge posts. Probably the next fencing video will be building that other H brace. I'll make sure I video that one. And then after that, we'll be good to string up wire once we get all these wood post tamps. So appreciate you guys watching, like and subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.